So now I've shown you how to make my almond tart crust for a dessert tart, but today I'm going to show you this really easy crust for a savory tart. And this goes against everything you've ever heard about making crusts, and it's just a no-fail, wonderful way to make a crust. So I have in here 1 cube of butter, and I'm going to add to that a 1/4 cup of water, a tablespoon of sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and for this I think the flavor of just a little bit of freshly chopped thyme leaves is going to be really good in this with the onion tart. So I'm going to add that. And then we cook this until all the butter's melted. Oh, there's one more thing. I need a tablespoon of oil. And this would happen to be olive oil. Oh, Popeye! So now, we want to get this, okay, now the butter's melted all the way, and we want to see this bubbling, and it's going to bubble more than that. The bubbles are going to get bigger. And when we see the bubbles, we're almost there, almost there. You see how big they're getting, and now I think it's ready. We turn off the heat and we put in a 1.5 cups of flour and quickly just stir the whole thing. I tell you, I have never had this crust fail in any fashion. It's amazing to me. After all the hours I spent trying to keep dough cold and roll it out, and this just... Look at that. We've got a pie dough. So let's go put this in our pan, and then we'll wait for it to cool. And then we can spread it around in the pan. And that is the no-fail pie dough. So now our dough is cooled enough that we can move it around in the pan. Ooh, barely. Still a little warm. And this is again a very flexible dough, so you can put it where you want it. And I'm just going to try and get this initially here spread as evenly and as thinly as possible. And then again, we want to make sure it comes all the way up the side of the pan. This dough is it's nice that this is so easy to work with. You can fill in empty spots where it got too thin. You can take some from one place and put it in another. It's just a lovely dough to work with. And it always tries to collect right here at where the bottom meets the sides. So you have to give some attention to pushing that up. And this recipe will actually make a pie crust for a taller pie plate, so there's going to be some extra for this tart pan. All right, I think we're getting there. Break off the extra. Doesn't that look good?
Good job.
So, one thing I learned from last time, you'll remember the pie weights were brand new last time. Well, this is their second outing. So now I have a bigger piece of parchment paper. And we'll put the pie weights in.
Now, why do we use pie weights?
The pie weights will keep the dough in place and will keep it from shrinking down the sides and keep the bottom from bubbling up. And with this many pie weights in here, there's really no place it can go. The other thing I learned last week using these pie weights is these ceramic weights hold a lot of heat, so there really is no need to take the weights out and cook the bottom more. The bottom is cooking just fine with the amount of heat these weights retain. So this is going to go into a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes and it'll be done. Okay, timer's going off. I bet our pie crust, tart crust, is done. So out it comes. And after having great difficulty getting the pie weights out of there, last week I used the larger parchment paper in the hopes that this would give me
Here, gather all the corners.
more
Oops, trying to help.
control over these weights as they come out. And look at this. Ta-da!
That was much better.
And there we have Savory tart crust.
Look at that, that's beautiful.